We have a funny little saying in Britain that when you're waiting for a bus, you can wait for an hour and then suddenly three come along together. I've noticed it happens a lot in London as well. You could be stood there waiting and then suddenly three of the same number come pouring out of Oxford Street up to Park Lane, and there you are, your spot for choice. And to be honest, it's a bit the same with the old vinyl and CD lately, isn't it? I mean, the last few months, you lucky people, you've had, I can't remember what it was, back in last year, which seems weird now, doesn't it, saying last year? But there you are, you had Running Through Chelsea, which I'd written and recorded with Mark Mortimer's No Escape. You had it on CD, you also had it on vinyl. Somebody's signed it on the front. Nice little album, really proud of that. It's been really great working with Mark. He's a musical genius and his army of musicians. But really fun album to make. I mean, I think we started it during that awful lockdown, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, you must stay at home. I think that was the day before my birthday in 2019, was it, or 2020, I'm not sure, but it was actually the day before my birthday. So the big family celebration we had for Granddad's birthday went out the window. My wife and I sat on our own with a cup of tea. But yeah, that was Running Through Chelsea, and that's still available on vinyl and CD. Very proud of that, very proud of that nice little album. And then in November, well, look at this, in November. You'd had it before, actually on the date of the 50th anniversary, was it, of the release of Tangerine Dream in November '67. It couldn't have been 50th then, could it? What was it? What could it have been? 2017. Yeah, 2017 that was released. But that sold out. So Chris Barnett, who I work with, decided to put it out again and repeat the gatefold sleeve, which of course is unusual for Tangerine Dream, but I think works pretty well. Look at that. Whoa, look at that beauty. You've got all the lyrics in there, which you didn't have on the original. A nice little blurb from me telling you how wonderful we are. Lovely cover. And then inside, this is a photograph I took of the tape boxes. You know the story, There's supposed to be a box set coming out. I mean, it's no secret now. It was a secret for a while, but it's been a secret for a long time. And the label, we've got a deal, we've signed with the label, and the label has been wrestling almost literally with the suits at Universal, although I suppose they don't wear suits anymore, do they? Probably all wearing sandals and hoodies, and probably no more than about 22 years old, each of them. But the young executives at Universal, who, let's face it, have probably never heard of Kaleidoscope. So dealing with them has been incredibly difficult, and I don't know if it's even resolved now. The album was the box set was supposed to be out maybe end of last year, but there's a lot of work to do. We've already done a lot of work on it. This has been in the offing for, got to be 10 years. Chris Barnett and I have been fighting for this, and Dan on board for a long time. So we signed to the label. The label's sort of trying to pull it together. It's going to be a box set. We're not sure yet whether you're going to have a vinyl box set first, followed by a CD box. We're not sure yet, or whether, economics mean that might have to be a mixed box. But in there you'll have all the Kaleidoscope albums, Tangerine Dream, Faintly Blowing, From Home to Home, White-Faced Lady. You'll have the Sidekick album. You might have the BBC takes as well. There will also be some demos. when Eddie and I used to write our music, he'd ring me up and I'd go round his gaff over at Acton, and he'd play me the new songs, and then I'd listen to them, and you know, we'd make changes and that sort of thing. But the first time I heard them, I would take my trusty tape recorder with me, little cassette tape recorder, and I would record Eddie just singing the song to me in his bedroom, and take it home and learn the song. And those recordings I actually had in the drawer still, and I've managed to digitalise them, and hopefully they will also be in the box set. But many of them are songs that Eddie and I loved. I don't even know if Dan and Steve got to hear them, to be honest, because some of them, these recordings of Ed singing me the new songs, were right at the end of our career when we were breaking up. And they hopefully will be in the box set. They're very, very lo-fi. But, you know, if you're keen to know everything we did, then I'm sure you won't mind. But some of these songs Ed and I really loved, and we never got into the studio to do them, which is tragic, absolute tragic. So I've recorded some of them myself in the best way I can to make them reflect what we were doing at the time. And hopefully my own recordings of those will be in the box, so that you can at least hear how Ed was playing me the song. I was listening. It was in absolute, just after its birth, when Ed had written the tune for it and I'd had the lyrics for it. But then taking it to a level where it's finished, and hopefully, you know, still managing to hold some of that Fairfield Parlour kaleidoscope charisma around the actual recording. Hopefully that will be in there too. There'll be a book. Paul Drummond has written a book about the band, the biography of the band, that will be in there. There's probably knickknacks like posters and reproductions of different things. But as I say, I know you're all waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Believe me, Dan's waiting for it. Poor Ed and Steve never got to see it, which is tragic. But it is coming, it is coming. You've just got to hold your breath like me, or, you know, keep the pennies piling up in a little pot somewhere, because no doubt it's going to be pretty pricey, I'm afraid. But Dan and I and Chris Barnett, my manager, went up to the vaults in East London, where all the Universal recordings are stored. They actually let us in there. Absolutely amazing. We couldn't believe it. And it literally like going into Fort Knox. But when we got in there, out came the trolley with all the kaleidoscope master tapes and boxes on. Absolutely unbelievable. We couldn't believe what we were looking at. And so that is a photograph I took of one of the tape boxes. This is the actual tape box that, you know, was written on by the producers or the engineers at the end of the session. So this particular one, it's Philips Records, Fontana, produced by Dick Leahy. And you've got Tangerine Dream, Kaleidoscope. On here you've got our recordings of Kaleidoscope, Please Excuse My Face, Dive Into Yesterday, Mr. Small, Flight from Ashia, and The Murder of Louis Tullaney. The date on that is the 20th of March 1968. And then the other side of the master, Further Reflections in the Room of Percussion, Dear Nelly Goodrich, Holiday Maker, Lesson Perhaps, The Sky Children. And yeah, this was made, well, it's dated November 67 for the release date. But this master tape, for some reason, has been copied in March 68. So yeah, in the vinyl box, in the vinyl release of Tangerine Dream, by the way, I meant to say, you had this new vinyl, which, oh, look at that! Whoa, look at that little beauty! Splash vinyl. Whoa! How does that look? Is that great? Pretty weird, isn't it? Put it on your turntable and it plays Tangerine Dream, but it's this cute orange splash vinyl. Really lovely. So yeah, you've got all that to look forward to. But then in this month, the end of December, early January, my new album, which I know I've told you about, but I'm going to go on about it because I'm proud of it, and if I don't tell you about it, no one else is going to. And that came out on CD with a gatefold. Oh, again, somebody signed it on there. And also on vinyl, of course. And I have to tell you that I've just read a Shindig review of the album, which blew me away. Look, I'm very, very old now. I hate even saying the bloody number. I certainly don't feel it. I still feel about 25 or 18, 25, around that age. I don't feel my age, but I've been around a long while. I've been writing songs for 60 years, whatever it is. So you can have a guess how old I am. And to release a latest album like this and then get a review in Shindig which called it an outstanding album, a perfect fusion of psychedelia and progressive rock, is really great. I mean, it's very heartwarming. I know a lot of you have already bought it, but you know, like I say, I'm very proud of it. And to hear that, you know, a reviewer at Shindig and other magazines like it, an outstanding album, that's pretty good after all that time. I'm really proud of that. And I'm not going to apologise for blowing my own trumpet on that, because, you know, I'm puffed up a bit. I'm absolutely blown away by that review. So there you are. You know, that's what you've had over the last few months. 3 vinyl albums, CDs, and more to come. But the more to come is, fingers crossed, it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen. I don't think the project will be abandoned. I hope it won't. But it's on its way, and when it comes out, it's going to be amazing. And it'll be, you know, full circle for the band. Dan and I just can't wait for it. We just... Every time I talk to Dan about the box set, he said, "Oh, we'll probably be dead by the time it comes out." What am I laughing at? I have no idea. So thanks very much for watching, and please dig in. Running through Chelsea, Leopard and the Lamb, and Tangerine Dream, all available on vinyl. Lovely vinyl. 2 of them available on CD. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers. Bye. Thank you.
There are no churches or cathedrals where to hide. The trees are now ashes in the wind. This is a time for consequence for man. I see the leopard and the lamb, the climber, the seeker, the man who had it all. The major minor shift, the curtain call. I'm getting up, it's a Sunday morning. I'm going down to Petticoat Lane. Gonna see a man about a dog, have a couple with Crazy Jane. I'm in, I'm out, the kind of guy that likes to get along.